Ciao, this is Talk Calcio TV and I am Domenico, and in this episode we are bringing you all the build-up to the big game this weekend, Juventus versus Roma in round 18 of the Serie A season. The Bianconeri host the Giallorossi at Juventus Stadium Turin, and round about the same time these two met last year, of course, when Juventus ran out 1-0 winners thanks to a great goal from Gonzalo Higuain in a game which was no classic. In fact, it was more like a chess battle. Now, last year, you could have said it was a potential Scudetto decider. Of course, Juventus and Roma, the 1 and 2 teams last year. Juventus won last year, that increased their points tally ahead of Roma in second place. I think it's fair to say, I don't think this is a potential Scudetto decider. I do feel, of course, Juventus could go top if they win and other results go their way. As for Roma, the Giallorossi, I think defeat tomorrow and their faint hopes of the Scudetto will be all but gone. They will then, I'm sure, priority will be ensuring Champions League qualification for next season. And to make matters even more interesting, Lazio are 5th. Of course, Roma have a game in hand too. So they want to keep ahead of Lazio as far as they can. Losing a Champions League place to Lazio, I don't think the Romanisti would ever hear the end of that from their cross-city rivals. So, let's look at in the two camps then. Juventus, the likelihood is Gianluigi Buffon will be missing. In goal will be Wojciech Szczesny. Of course, spent 2 seasons on loan at Roma. There's also doubts for Cuadrado and Mandzukic likely to be missing. Massimo Allegri, we know, the last few games he's gone with a 4-3-3 formation and they've won games, they've kept clean sheets. If you look against Inter, they then went to Napoli and won as well. Now, the interesting feature, I think one thing that will not go away, is Paulo Dybala. Will he fit in Allegri's formation tomorrow? Will he be in the right mind to play tomorrow? I think this public spat between the coach and the Argentine striker refuses to go away. You know, if Dybala's not selected tomorrow, all the rumours are going to pop up again about a potential move to Barcelona or any other club. I think PSG are now the latest to be interested in his services. So yeah, that'll be interesting when we look at Juventus's starting lineup. Will there be a place for him with other injuries? You know, we'll see. Allegri, that will be Allegri's decision, as we know. If we go to the Roma camp now, Eusebio Di Francesco, when he arrived from Sassuolo, of course an ex-Roma player himself, was touted as a potential attacking coach. I just feel Roma's weakness this year is goals. Now obviously they lost Mohamed Salah last year, massive loss, and he's doing fantastic at Liverpool. Antonio Rudiger went to Chelsea. You know, you just look at some of the signings that Roma made in the transfer in the summer, and it's fair to say they've been underwhelming. Now, were they Di Francesco players? Were they Monchi, the general manager's players? You know, Patrick Schick signed, he's only just started playing. He did score in the week in their defeat against Torino in the Coppa Italia, but I just feel from a lot of the games I've seen so far, Perotti and Al-Shaarawy can weigh in with goals. I just feel in most of them, Edin Dzeko has been a one-man band, you know, and if he doesn't score tomorrow or doesn't lead the line or he's not in the game, you know, that does give me it gives a massive worry for Roma, I've got to say. You know, I think it's fair to say Roma need to make a few additions in the transfer window. Who will they be able to get? You know, Karlsdorp also signed from Holland for Feyenoord. You know, he's been injured, he's out for a longer time. You know, the signings I think have let Roma down so far. Of course, in the Champions League, though, it hasn't affected them, as we know. Also then, who do I think is the key man for Juventus? Well, you have to say Gonzalo Higuain, given his recent form. But also, if you look at their defence as well, Juventus, you know, 3 clean sheets the last few games. You know, Roma are going to have a job to break that down in Turin tomorrow night. Who I think is the main man from the Roma camp, you have to say Radja Nainggolan. We all know how fond he is of Juventus, and the Juventus tifosi are of him. Always war of words on social media and that before the game. Of course, he scored in their 3-1 win against Juventus at the Olimpico last year. He let his feelings be known to the Bianconeri faithful. Who do I think then is going to win the game? I'm going to have to go for home win on this one for the champions. You know, given their defence, as I've already discussed, and their attacking prowess, I just feel if Roma go a goal behind, you know, their lack of goals last week, we've seen it in the last 2 games, you know. We saw it against Kiev. We saw it again last week against Cagliari when the game which was disrupted by the VAR system, as we famously know. That is my worry for Roma. I just cannot see where the goals are going to come from against Juventus's mean defence tomorrow night. Of course, Roma did lose in the Coppa Italia on Wednesday night, but I don't think that's much to go by. Obviously, Di Francesco did rest his key players ahead of this Saturday's clash. So I think it's fair to say the Juventus game was more of a priority than the Coppa Italia. Shame that, really. So, am I going to go for a score? I'm going to go for a 2-0 Juventus win. Who do I think is going to score? Well, I'm going to say Higuain's going to be nailed on to score as well. I just feel if Roma can come away with a draw, then that's a great result. But Juventus need to keep their own Scudetto push and retaining their title. They need to keep the pressure on Inter and both Napoli. So I think 3 points for them. They won't need me to tell them is a complete must for Juventus tomorrow. So how will the game go? Well, we will have the reaction to Juventus and Roma and all the other games in our next episode, which we will be here on Christmas Eve. And don't forget to subscribe, Talk Calcio TV, and don't forget to comment below and give us your predictions ahead of this weekend. Arrivederci.